Good morning, everybody. My name is Gideon Blau. I'm with the Clean Tech Hub. Today, I'm accompanied by Damani Thomas from Carbon Neutral. Damani, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing great. And you?
Very good. Thank you very much. Damani is part of our program we run currently with the UK embassies here in Latin America. Damani is the founder of Carbon Neutral and has been working on his solution already for a number of years. But of course, before we dive into his solution and what he's bringing to the table with regards to climate action, we really want to know more about you, Damani. So, where did that passion of yours for climate action started?
Well, as you know, small island developing states are the most vulnerable and first to feel the effects of climate change, and Jamaica is no exception. Now, I figured that it's only fair that we provide the solutions to save the world and profit from it, rather than wait to be rescued. As you can see, during COP26, there are still some uncertainties, and I believe that a lot of governments, well, a lot of small island developing states that are in the front lines of the heat were really relying on the conclusion of COP26, and there are still some
Mhm.
inconsistencies. So that's where I got my drive from. So I believe that instead of sitting down and wait to be destroyed or wait to be rescued or point the fingers, we provide the solutions because the solutions are needed.
Yeah, yeah, very good. And I believe you, Damani, are a trained environmentalist. So, what was it for you to decide? Yeah, I want to be an environmentalist. What was it that drove you?
All right. So as a young person growing up, I always despise seeing I really hated seeing deforestation among a lot of things. Like I really disliked the emissions problem that we had because me myself I'm asthmatic and I would be often triggered by the black smoke of coming out of vehicles, and I always thought that hey you can just service your vehicle, but I later learned that it's much more than that. So
Yeah,
from there, I decided that if I'm going to the sciences, why not a science that it's completely challenging and necessary. So that's where I decided to do environmental studies, bachelor's degree in environmental studies,
yes,
and it. I would say if I would get to choose again, I would choose it again.
yeah, yeah,
Learning about the environment is always exciting.
yeah,
Learning about new places, learning about the
yeah,
sciences behind all the processes.
yeah.
So,
No, I think that's very interesting because you're it's more than a passion. I mean, if you yourself are affected and let's say by black smoke, for example, because you're asthmatic. I mean, yes, you want to find the solutions. It's great that you actually are turning this passion for nature and environment together into something that helps to make this a little bit of a better place. So, and also what I think is very exciting is, I mean, you're based in Jamaica.
yes,
As you
sir.
said, it's one of those places that are first affected by all climate change, and now we're now we're moving into, let's say, the solution that you guys brought to the table, which I think is very exciting. Talking about black smoke, what kind of solution did you guys come up with?
Well, for that, we came up with the carbon attack filter. Now, the carbon attack filter is a biodegradable carbon capture filter designed specifically for vehicles. It is the only biodegradable and carbon circular economy filter on the market. So what it does is that it captures hazardous carbon oxides, nitrous oxides, sulfur, and lead to lower the adverse effects to public and environmental health by trapping these greenhouse gases before they get into the air. And as we
Yeah,
know, the transportation sector is the largest contributor to overall air pollution and carbon emissions.
Yeah.
So what we did was create that solution to mitigate this. Now, the what makes the carbon attack filter extremely special is that the carbon circularity of it. I mean, after capture, the waste from the cartridge has value and can be used to rehabilitate acidic or dying soil, improving soil for agriculture or reforestation. Now, the carbon attack filter cartridge is calcium base, which Jamaica is rich in calcium carbonate.
Mm-hmm.
So what it does is that after it traps all these poisonous chemicals to us, nitrous oxides, sulfur, and carbon, though all those chemicals are both macro and micronutrients to soil.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do is that we can remove remove those poisonous gases to us from out of the air and put it
Yes.
somewhere that it can be used as fertilizer, where it would be
Oh,
needed. Because
okay.
soil degradation is
Yeah.
also uh, I don't think it's as big as a problem as air pollution, but it's
Yeah.
also a very big problem
Yes.
because it's also a threat to food security, which I think food security is one of the most important things. And
Yeah.
you can't have food security without a healthy soil.
Yeah. Okay, let's rewind for a second here because this is interesting. So you have a tailpipe solution for ICE cars, right? ICE cars are into internal combustion engines that drive on petrol or diesel. So you install the adapt, let's say the adapt filter on the tailpipe of the car.
Yes,
The
sir.
carbon that you capture remains inside the filter, and
Yes,
then
sir.
make it circular in the sense that you say, okay, so all the captured carbon from the tailpipe, we collect it and we can use it, for example, in reforestation programs or in certain food programs. This is what you're saying, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so this is very exciting. I mean, I have not heard about a solution like this, and making it fully circular. That is awesome. But tell us, how effective is this solution? I mean, I've seen in Europe, for example, a lot of different tailpipe solutions that have been, let's say, given mandated by European Commission. Um, those technologies have been there, I think, for already over 25 or 30 years. What is different about your solution in comparison to the ones that are there already?
All right. So even though we were not completely aware of some of the other tailpipes in Europe, we have identified the two major companies to
Mhm.
us that provide a carbon removal technology that stands out. Now, the first one is the CO tube. I heard about it from CNET.
Mhm.
However, they haven't been active for a while. I haven't seen them make a market move for a while. And as for the other company, they're also based here. They are more expensive. Also, the CO tube is also more expensive than the carbon attack filter.
Yeah.
Um, Being that our filter is low cost, that is also a competitive advantage. And
Mhm.
our filter, as stated, is the only filter that offer solutions that help in cell degradation. So it's the only biodegradable filter. It's
Yes.
the only carbon circular filter.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
I think a lot of people in Europe say, well, I mean, we don't need this because all our engines already have a catalyst on it. And this was, I think, mandated like 30 years ago or something at least, that all cars in Europe need to have a catalyst. So why do I need a bioadapt filter if I already have a catalyst on the back end of my engine?
all right, so the thing with a catalytic converter, it's much more expensive than a carbon
Mhm.
attack filter. But not only that, but even with a catalyst, there is still emissions that comes out of
Mhm.
vehicles. The average car emits about 4.6 tons a year. And when you calculate that by the 1.3 billion transportation, 1.3 billion passenger cars, you know, you get that still that still takes over 30% of the transportation sector emissions contribution, because it has the largest number of vehicles out there are actually passenger vehicles, and then followed by buses and
Hmm.
then trucks.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
and another thing about this innovation is that it's not only designed for passenger vehicles, it also can be retrofitted to motorcycles.
Yes. Okay, this is interesting. So now tell us a little bit about your research, because I understand that you guys have been working on the research for this already for a number of years. Tell us about the process. How was it? How was it to get to this final product?
Yes, sir. It was extremely hard because in Jamaica, they don't really pay a lot of attention to scientists, innovation, and all. Jamaica is sand and sea, tourism and or music and culture and all of that. So, it's been a bit difficult, but over the past year, we have seen rapid growth, and I mean a growth of over 1,000% in
Wow.
terms of production speed, in terms of research, in terms of support, in terms of getting mentors, and all that. So we started. Our first prototype was created at the Money College. I was in my first year when I came up with this solution. I think I was about, well, I came up with this solution about 17, but it was when I was in my first year,
Hmm.
our second year, about 18. It actually, came to life.
Wow.
So what we did was my teacher was very strict about the creation of this product. He said it has to be biodegradable and it has to be stress tested, because we didn't have that all that complex machines, because it's a community college. So we didn't have all those complex machines to do exact measurements. So we had to. It's either a significant change or the project is out. So what we did was we created our prototype and we attach it. We got two pipes that basically shaped like a lung. So what we had two outlets here and the main pipe. So that this main pipe was connected to a weed whacker engine, which is a two-step engine. And as you know, a two-step engine is much more inefficient than a car engine. So it creates a lot more pollutants. And what we did was we put one outlet inside of calcium hydroxide, which reacts with carbon dioxide to form a milky white substance, and we put our filter in what we also added our filter as one of in one of those outlets, and we put that outlet into another beaker of calcium hydroxide, and when we did the test, our
Yes.
beaker did not change color.
Uh-huh.
So that was
Okay.
our first prototype test, and after that we did stress testing. We did aesthetic development, because what we used to create that prototype was actually any little material you can find in your backyard, a
Yes.
cloth, cotton, a piece of mesh, metallic
Hmm.
mesh, to like
Yes.
create a spine so
Hmm.
the cloth wouldn't wither. And thus far, we have advanced the product twice.
Yes.
So
Yes.
even after that, we have made the product even more efficient and
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the current project you guys have going together with the support of the Jamaican government. You understand you have a pilot coming up. People are going to put it on the tailpipes. You're going to focus on a specific. Maybe that's the first question. You're going to focus on a specific group of vehicle users. could be truck drivers, could be bus drivers. What will be your focus?
All right, so our focus would first be regular passengers, regular owners of passenger vehicles, from um, SUVs and smaller vehicles.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so we haven't targeted trucks as yet.
No.
We
No.
have only made a filter for vehicles as heavy as a Jeep.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is that we will be also targeting taxi drivers because I think taxi
Yeah.
drivers drive the most
Yeah.
in Jamaica.
Hmm.
So we'll with that final stages of beta testing, we will
Yeah.
target them the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. One of those questions that the taxi drivers will come up with is, okay, but will it hurt the performance of the car?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. It's quite the opposite. It
Mm,
actually helps the performance of the car, being that
okay.
it prevents backlogging because it
Hmm.
captures the excess carbon and other non-oxygen molecules. So it actually improves the performance of a vehicle by a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but it's
Yeah.
still something.
Okay. This is interesting. Yes, because a lot of people say don't put anything on my tailpipe because you smother my engine. But it's great to hear that you figured out a way that, let's say, that your filter does not inhibit, let's say, the performance of the engine, or actually in any other way affect that. So taxi drivers is a very interesting group. Of course, Jamaica is a huge has a huge tourism industry. So clean taxis would definitely help. What do you think was the angle for the Jamaican government to get into your project? What made them convince?
All right, so, ooh, all right, all right. So I think the main thing that get them convinced was the potential. Now, since the coronavirus,
Hmm.
tourism has halted, and I think Jamaica needs a new market to, profit from. And given that we are entering into a virtually new industrial revolution of green
Mm.
tech, I tried to convince them to get on board because back in the after pre-World War II or post-World War II, where there was kind of a technological explosion there, and there were countries that were originally poor and
Hmm.
took
And
part in
benefited.
that market,
Yeah.
and they are rich now, namely
Yeah.
Singapore,
Hmm.
Japan, China, to name a few. And those are some of the richest and most profitable countries now, politics aside.
Yes.
So that's the angle that I came to them at and say, the carbon neutral initiative is my personal initiative to make a better
Yeah.
Caribbean, to make a better Latin America, to make a better, you
Yeah.
know, this region.
Yeah.
So if we can create our own little Silicon Valley,
Uh
and
huh.
you know, but exclusively for technology, such
Yeah.
as clean tech or green tech, provide the world with cli- um, climate resilient technologies. So that way we can join on the train and get a new market to profit from,
Yes. Yes. Very good.
and in a
The
sustainable way, of course.
Yeah. No, I think it's very interesting, and I'm also very excited about the local governments to join the, let's say, your initiative. In this case, Jamaica. I think it is also an opportunity. I know it's the biggest challenge we're facing in maybe in at least over the last couple of 100 years, and this is climate change. We need to figure this out, but this could also be an opportunity, as you said, for island nations to really innovate around. new technologies, this is a level playing field, and you are living proof of this. So it is awesome to see this. Damani, we got a question from somebody in the audience, John Costa. He's asking, he likes the product a lot, and he wants to know
Thank you.
how long does the filter last in a regular SUV diesel car, and what's the price of it? He already wants to buy it, so tell us.
All right. So SUV diesel car. Now, our filter is designed to last up to 3 months for SUVs. It, yes. So
3 months.
it's
Hmm.
designed to last up to 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that the filter and the cartridge are different. Now, what we did was we tried to lower production costs and waste as much as possible, because you can't be a company for net neutrality and being unsustainable. So what we did is that the filter is reusable, but the cartridges should be changed
Yeah.
after 3 months.
Okay. Okay. So let's say you are the owner of this passenger car. You have a diesel SUV. So you buy the cartridge. You can install it yourself, or you need a mechanic to install it.
Yes, sir. You can install it yourself. It's quite easily changeable. Uh,
Okay.
we
Very good.
we accounted for that in our prototype testing also, to make it user friendly.
User friendly. And
Yes,
then
sir.
after 3 months, you take it off. It's almost like a water filter you have on your tap at home.
Yes,
So
sir.
after 3 months, you take it off and you put on a new one.
Yes, sir. And that also lowers the cost, because rather than buying a whole new filter, you just
Hmm.
buy a cartridge.
Yeah.
So that way it's easier to implement on a regulatory or mandatory stage, in
Yeah.
that you don't have to spend a lot on it.
Yes.
As
Okay.
I think that is a problem now,
Yeah.
that a lot of filters are extremely expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, that exactly. You have to go to your a dealership or whatever, and there get it installed. And I mean, you cannot touch it. I mean, if you're not a mechanic, that's very challenging. So one thing, and that's very interesting. What do you do with the cartridge after it's full? Let's say after 3 months, because I think that's where you have a very interesting solution. I give it back to you. I What do we do with it? The
All right,
cartridge.
so with that, we have a number of options. Now, if you want to discard it, you are free to. It's biodegradable,
Yeah.
so you can help a plant, throw it in a garden,
Yeah,
or
put it in the
throw it.
ground and then
Yes, just
feed
put
it
it in
back
the
to the
ground.
plant. Yeah,
But we also intend to create a market for recycling.
yeah,
So that way, so in that with that option, we will buy the filter, buy the
yeah,
used filter back from you at a lower price,
yeah,
and um, depending on how our partnerships go, we could either create upcycle that filter to organic fertilizer, or
hmm,
make a stronger fertilizer out of it, or we could partner with the forestry department
yes,
and collect the waste and give it to them to do their forestry, because one of our goals is to rehabilitate land damaged by mining operations.
hmm,
That's very true in Jamaica with bauxite mining.
yeah,
They're actually at war right now in the
yeah,
conflict country, you
yeah,
know, and all of that news. So what we would want to do is lands destroyed by mining, we could um, replant
yeah,
there, like
yeah,
get some normal soil, get the
yeah,
used carbon attack filter in there, to
yeah,
serve as the nutrients,
yeah,
and plant the trees and watch the forest come back.
yes. Very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, I mean, probably the people need a couple of tutorials on YouTube to see how you put the filter onto the tailpipe and how to dispose of it by putting it in the ground in your garden. So that would be awesome. Any
That's all, that's
clarity?
all, that's all in the making in the next 8 months.
Great. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome that you guys do that. It's a really grassroots community based project. I love it.
Yes, sir. However, we target a number of SDGs,
Yeah.
including, as I said, the SDG about
Hmm.
sustainable cities and communities.
Very good.
SDG
And
11.
any clarity on the price already? You guys are targeting a specific price. You already said you are one of the more economic solutions in the market.
Price?
Yeah.
Yes. Our price is, well, we did our customer valuation in that we went out there and asked, how much they would be willing to pay for something like this. And the response we got was mostly about 80 US dollars,
Yeah.
80 to 100 US dollars. But we intend
For
to
one
sell it
cartridge.
for one cartridge.
Yeah.
So, and we would be selling it for less than half that, about 40 to $50
$40 to $50.
US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would spend let's say $200 on a yearly basis as a driver of a passenger car, and how much do you reduce the CO2 emissions? Because you told us passenger car emits about 4 tons of CO2 emissions. So how much that $200 investment? How much will it reduce the CO2 emissions?
All right. So with that, we would save, well, as I said, the average car emits about 4.6 tons. From our research, we can get that number down to about 1.3, which
Hmm.
translate to about, if applied worldwide, translate to
Yes.
about 3 billion tons, and in
Yes.
Jamaica about 2.2 million tons a year. So
Two
we
point
would
two
we would
million tons.
per vehicle we
Yeah.
would lower the emissions by about 2 to 3 tons.
Yes, yes. I mean, I love this project. One of the things, and that is something that is already happening in the European carbon market. The price is skyrocketing of carbon right now. I think the average price of carbon on that market, I think, is about $70 or $80 for one ton of CO2. So let's say it's just 3 or 4 tons, you already passed the $200 that you just mentioned, right? So it shows that it's a very competitive product, in the sense that it's almost at par, the investment that people make for the price that is currently being paid in the European carbon market. So I love how all of this is linked, and how you guys have such a compelling solution. Damani, final question. I ask everybody this. You, of course, are in this project with the UK Embassy. You're thinking of breaking into the UK market. I'd like to know, first of all, what is your expectations of going into the UK market? For what reasons are you doing this? Selling the product, more investigation, etc., etc. And secondly, what do you expect? Where will carbon neutral with the filter be in, let's say, 2, 3, 4 years time?
All right. So what we expect from the UK market now. The UK market is perfect for these services. As you said, the price of carbon is about $70. Now, I think the UK market is perfect for all of the innovations that we offer. Not only the carbon filter, but or one of our other innovations that I mentioned earlier. But in the UK, there are over 200,000 premature deaths because of exhaust emissions.
Hmm.
It's 4 million worldwide, but in the UK, there is about 200,000 premature deaths each year. Now, as stated, the carbon attack filter traps all those things and applicable to agriculture and such, which is also a problem in the UK. So we we can improve air quality, promote rainfall, and I believe that the UK market is the perfect market for innovation like this, because the green tech UK market is growing fast. The green tech UK market is
Hmm.
growing
Hmm.
faster than I think every other region.
Yeah.
So, and what I also like is that the citizens of the UK is also very climate conscious.
Uh-huh.
They
Yes.
are they care about their carbon footprint and such. So I couldn't imagine a better market there. For someone that wants to do something to help, and you know this innovation puts the power in the hands of the masses, where they can lower their carbon footprint by themselves and take responsibility instead of waiting on certain government officials to decide. So,
Yeah.
that in itself is a problem. And as for your second question, as we're I say carbon neutral in the next 2 years, well, I say carbon neutral in the UK market the next 2 years. But we want
Yes.
to reach as much countries as possible, because as you know, we are about decarbonizing transport. So if we could decarbonize transport in every country, that would be nice, because it wouldn't only benefit us, it would benefit the entire country, not just the individual, but the entire country. Being that it would help that country be more on with carbon circularity. It helps businesses also, because in that way can decarbonize their distribution chains. So that is also another market. And for the specific users themselves, we aim to buy back the use filter, so that put back money in their pockets. So,
Yeah.
I see carbon neutral as, a necessary force
Yeah.
going forward,
Yeah.
in the creation of climate resilient technologies, because, I believe that carbon neutral, this company itself was validated by COP26.
Yeah.
We need to put more power in the hands of the masses,
Yeah.
and the stated we need to decarbonize transport, and that is our main goal.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Love it. No, the money. I want to thank you for being here together with us. Share with us the great solutions that carbon neutral is bringing to the table. I love this chat. It went flying the 30 minutes. Incredible. Thank you very much, the money.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. People, this brings us again to the end of another conversation we had with a very interesting green entrepreneur, super innovative solutions. Tomorrow will we be back, same time, same place, and listen to another green entrepreneur that brings solutions to the table that we all are looking for in one way or the other. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day, and we'll see each other again here tomorrow. Bye bye.